If you've been arrested for domestic violence and you're thinking, worst case scenario, I'll just expunge it later, you need to hear this because that plan could end up ruining the future that you have worked so hard for. The good news is that if you act quickly, there are often ways to fight back and even avoid a conviction altogether. But that window closes fast. Make sure to stay until the end of this video because a lot of people don't understand how convictions and expungements actually work until it's too late. And by the end of this video, I promise that you will not be one of them. My name is Veronica. I'm a domestic violence criminal defense attorney, and I help people throughout the entire state of California put their cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. Okay, so let's jump right in. Why should you never rely on an expungement to fix your conviction? A lot of people will call my office after an arrest with the same thought. Okay, this is scary, but worst case scenario, I'll just clean it up later with an expungement. And I get it, you're trying to stay calm, you're trying to plan ahead. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Yes, you can expunge a domestic violence conviction in California, but it does not delete your record. It does not erase the record. And it absolutely does not make the conviction disappear. Now, just to be clear here, the term that is used in court for California's expungement process is actually not expungement. Some states truly do have expungement where it will actually be sealed. It will actually be removed from your record. In California, it is not called that. It is called a petition for dismissal, and that is for a very good reason. All that California's expungement does, if you qualify, is update your record to say that the case was dismissed after you completed probation. But the original charge, the domestic violence charge, whether it's a felony or whether it ends up as a misdemeanor, is still there. The conviction is still there. And anyone who runs a background check from a tech company to a temp agency will see both. This isn't just about security clearance or government jobs. If you ever plan to apply for a job again in any field, this matters. And what most people don't realize is that this expunged but still visible conviction, it is permanent. There is no way to remove it completely in the state of California. Not even the petition for dismissal, or aka expungement as it's called colloquially, but again, it's kind of a misnomer, will make it invisible. Let's get into a real world example of how this plays out. Ben was arrested for felony domestic violence. He panicked, but his lawyer, after a few court dates, told him that he could take a deal for a misdemeanor and just expunge it later. So Ben thought, great, okay, it's not ideal, but at least it's not jail time, and probation's for 3 years, but as his lawyer tells him, he can get it expunged at that point. So 3 years later, he has completed everything: probation, fines, domestic violence classes, and he petitions the court for a dismissal, aka an expungement. He thinks that he's in the clear, but when Ben applies for a new sales job, the background check shows everything. It shows the arrest, it shows the charge, it shows the conviction, and next to it, because he got this expungement, it says dismissed per Penal Code section 1203.4. Here's the part you really need to hear. If you are still in that early window before your first court date, you may have options that make the entire situation go away. I'm talking about pre-filing intervention. That's where we reach out to the district attorney's office before charges are officially filed and show them why the case does not need to and should not move forward. That is how you can avoid this entire situation. You get cases dropped quietly, early, and without a record. But once the case is filed, that window slams shut. Now, there are still other options to avoid a conviction, to avoid probation. But if you wait too long, a conviction and an expungement later on might become your new best case scenario when maybe the case could have been dropped before court if you took the right steps. So don't fall into this "I'll expunge it later" trap. Fight for the best result that you can while you still can. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have a domestic violence case in California, feel free to give me a call. You can book a consultation down below. You can also find my number there. And let's fight for a result that you never need to explain to an employer or try to expunge. And if you did find this helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell. And if you have a question or a comment, leave it in the comments.